Okay, go ahead.
First and foremost, right?
Wait a minute. Let me get up on you.
No, just stand back. You can just pull it in.
Okay.
I need the space. About right there. About right there. That'd be cool on the other side. That way I can walk the floor and all that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Got that down, Doug? Yeah. And it's still recording.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, man, first and foremost, right? You always hear about the divine resurrection, man, of Christ, man. And I'm sure it was a great, wonderful thing, man, for a lot of people, man. A lot of people felt great to see Jesus come back. But when you really stop and think about it, right? Hold up, wait. We go back. Let me just stay right there.
Go ahead.
Hey, man. So God and St. Peter was up in heaven talking, right? And St. Peter said to God, he said, God, where you going on vacation? God said, I'm still on the side. I don't know what I'm going to do. St. Peter said, well, why don't you go back to earth? God said, hey, man, I'm not going back there, man. Years ago, man, I knocked up this Jewish broad, man. They still talking about it to this day, man. I don't want nothing to do with that, man. So, you know, but could you imagine, man, being the stepfather to Jesus? I mean, think about it. It's bad enough, man. It's hard dealing with other people's kids to begin with. And they don't never want to listen to anything you tell them to do. I'm going to tell my father, you better not say nothing to me. I'm going to get my pop on you. So could you imagine how bad poor Joseph had it when he tried to tell Jesus to do something when he was a kid? Man, some of these dudes out here, man, they'll hurt you over their kids. They got other people, man, that'll kill you over their kids. But you got a guy that'll send you to hell if you bother his kid. You know what I mean? So it's rough, man. But I'm going to tell you something, right? You often hear about the resurrection of Jesus, man. You know, we celebrate it on Easter, man. It's a great momentous event. Because a lot of people were happy that Jesus came back, man. Saved a lot of souls, man. He kept all of us, man, from going to hell. He died for us. That's the whole notion of it. But, you know, when I think about it, a lot of people wouldn't be happy to see Jesus come back, man. They just wouldn't be. For example, little kids. I don't care what you say, man. If Jesus came back and little kids seen him, man, they would say, that man's a zombie. They would be scared. They would run. Sir, if your friend died, one of your buddies died, and you looked up and seen him walking down the street 3 days later after the funeral, you'd be horrified, would you not? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just throwing it out there. Now, let me tell you something, man. A lot of people wouldn't be happy to see Jesus come back. First of all the people that borrowed money off of Jesus wouldn't be happy to see him come back. They'd be like, man, because when somebody dies and you owe money, man, that's a loss, man. You write that joint off as a debt. But now you look up, man, and you see Jesus walking down the street after he died, but you know you got to give him his money. You understand what I'm saying? You can't tell a guy that died and came back that you ain't got his money. You know? Now, I'm going to tell you some more people who wasn't happy to see Jesus come back. The guys at the Carpenters Union. You know Jesus was a carpenter, man, and he was a very good carpenter. But once he started preaching, right? Jesus said, man, y'all guys can borrow my tools, man. You can't have them, but you can borrow them. And them guys was happy, man. They said, well, man, this dude ain't serious about this carpenter thing. He want to be a preacher. But when Jesus came back, right? Them dudes probably said, well, man, he might not want to be a preacher again, man, because they killed him the last time he was preaching. So, man, he might want his tools back, man. He want to be a carpenter again. You know? So the guys, man, that Jesus loaned his tools to, man, they wasn't happy to see him come back, man. You know? Jesus had an uncle by the name of Titus, you know? And he was a very parsimonious guy. Matter of fact, he was tight. And even though his name was Titus, oftentimes they called him tight ass. And he's the guy that paid for Jesus' funeral. So you know that Titus was hot, that he picked out all that money for Jesus' funeral, and then he looked up and Jesus come walking down the street a few days later talking about I'm back. You know, so that's just my ideology and my notions on the resurrection of Christ. Man, it's a great thing. We know Judas wouldn't have been happy to see him again. We know that Pilate wouldn't have been happy to see him again, especially after giving him the thumbs down. So yeah, that's it. I don't mind telling y'all, right? I don't mind telling you. I'm a liberal, but I lean toward the right. You know, I had older parents. You understand what I'm saying? Both of them were in their 40s when I was born. So a lot of their views and opinions on the do's and the don'ts and the dumb shit, it rubbed off on me, right? Now, one of the things about my parents, right, I think that they would have liked Barack Obama, and I'm certain that they would have voted for Barack Obama. Me, myself, I didn't vote for Barack Obama. And the reason why I didn't vote for Barack Obama, because I knew if we got a black president, those white folks were going to use that as an excuse not to give us the money that they owe us. And if you're not certain what money I'm talking about, I'm talking about the reparations that General Sherman said that we were entitled to on January 16, 1865, after the Civil War. See, I know how white folks think. You get a black president, man, check this out, man, we're going to take it back from you with interest. I still remember the night of the election, 2008, everybody where I was at, they were sitting around, man, and they were so happy. Everybody was happy. Me, I was saying, man, don't let this dude win. Don't let this dude win. And when he won, man, there was a joyous, triumphant shout that went out throughout the restaurant. Me, on the other hand, I was sitting there crying. And when people realized that I was crying, I wasn't crying from joy. They said, man, what's wrong? I said, man, the white folks ain't gonna give us our money now, man. I said, you know how they are. I said, man, if you asking me, what do I want, a black president, or I want my money? Man, give me my money. You understand where I'm coming from? And I know that some people are a bit uncomfortable with the conversation of white folks and reparations and things of that nature. I'm not trying to beat up on white people. And I know there's some white people out there that feel bad at how their ancestors treated my ancestors. And if you do feel bad and you feel the need that you want to compensate me, Xander J. Hobson, stand-up comedian, director, and entertainer, you can write me a check or cash at me, and I will give you a receipt saying that you've done your part to make black folks whole. You understand where I'm coming from? Yeah. But hey, man, listen. I'm going to get ready to wrap it up, but I want to say this, right? On the subject of reparations. What does bother me when I hear about the subject of reparations is these white folks, these black folks that say they don't want reparations. They don't want affirmative action. Where do they find these Negroes at? You understand what I'm saying? Yes. Sir, listen. If your wife died, for the sake of the conversation, would you not show up to her job to collect her final paycheck, sir? Okay, sir, I don't know your name, but if someone died, wouldn't you not collect on an insurance policy that you paid into?
Yes.
So once again, if these two gentlemen, these two white gentlemen here, who they're faceless, would want to collect on the debts due them, why would black folks not want to collect on the debts of their dead ancestors? You understand? Now, I'm going to get ready to, I'm in the final throes of this conversation, but I'm going to say this, right? If I had my way, there are some black people who would not get reparations. First and foremost, those Negroes that say that they don't want reparations or affirmative action. Scratch them off the list. Yeah. The next group of people who would not give reparations, if you're asking me, is fellas that's doing life in jail. Come on, brother, you don't need reparations. That's too much money to put on the books. You don't need all that money on the books, you know? Another group of individuals that wouldn't get reparations, if you were asking me, is celebrities and athletes who sign these multi-million-dollar deals. Man, if you got a $10 million deal, man, you got your reparations, my reparations, everybody else's reparations. You don't need no reparations. Yeah. And we wouldn't give reparations to individuals who don't take care of their children. You can't take care of your children, you don't got reparations. If you're more than 6 months behind in child support, no reparations for you. And finally, that final group of people who would not give reparations, if you're asking me, if you have more of someone else's hair on top of your head than you have in your own, you will not give reparations because you will not be giving the Koreans all that reparation money. Folks, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you. Xander J. Hobson, stand-up comedian and entertainer. Xander J. Hobson, stand-up comedian, entertainer, director, and producer. Bam!